So this is what the funnel looks like when I did the rough draft. So with me, sometimes the hardest part is for me to connect the visual to the copy and the strategy together. So what I'll do is put together a draft of copy and then a draft of visual and then smush the two together. And then once I see the whole like layer, like the multi-layered sandwich, it helps me see what needs to be changed or what is off in the storytelling process. So this is what the first draft of the funnel looked like when we first started today. Um, so from a structure standpoint, it's well balanced. The blocks look good. It's just that when you look at the story, it didn't fully click down for me. And this is actually even after some, I could tell this is already after some of the adjustments that I made earlier today. So what doing right now is looking at what is going on, what are the concerns that I have. So I believe that above the fold, before you take the first scroll, your ideal client should be able to see themselves within the story and understand exactly what problem you are solving, what pain point you're creating relief for within their story. And if that's true, you've already done a lot of the lift. But the other thing is that the call to action has to be super clear, immediate, and I shouldn't have to hunt for it. So I think the call to action is clear, register now. It is a little buried in the way that the text is balanced against the imagery, but more problematic for me is the fact that the image is floating below the screen. So you have to scroll to get to the calendar. You have to scroll, and the calendar scroll is fine, but to get to the bottom of the image, that tells me that there's something off with the balancing of the elements. So what I did was I already started making some adjustments to this. I brought some of the proportions around, and I'm not done. I still think that that image block could be different and more proportioned, but this in and of itself is not bad. It's a market improvement from where we started on the funnel. And then that call to action now is far more cleanly placed underneath the text. Now, as we scroll down, we made the booking on the calendar page stand alone versus being side by side with text. And I think that this works better because this button on the page will scroll directly to this element. And then as we come down the funnel, we're getting more backstory. So that original panel, that hero panel, is very clear. It tells what a very quick, this is for my spicy brain humans like myself. It tells exactly what they need to know. And then they're like, you know what, this is for me. I'm in. I don't need to read more. You have addressed that segment of your population and they're free to go about their day. But then you'll have another segment of the population that's going to be like, you know what, I need more information before I can make a decision. And so front and center, they know where they're going to come to make that decision. They're also going to get a little bit more about the story of what's going on in this event. What are we looking to learn? What's the subject matter going to be? What topics can I expect to hear about? And then what is the transformation I can expect to receive as being a part of this event? And then finally, what tangible things am I going to come away with? So all of these are much better on the balance, on the visual and the storytelling now, which means we're in a much better place. My heart is like, as a creative, from a creative lens, it's like my brain can process the story a lot better because there's room to breathe on all the visuals, and then the people that I desire to serve can very clearly see themselves within this story. So I consider this to be a success. And the thing about it is, I use a lot of AI tools within my creative and project implementation process because I'm very strong on strategy and connecting the whys behind the story. that I need guidance and support with visualization. So when I close my eyes, I don't see in pictures and colors and how to make those layers come together. And so I usually will bring in partners or other forms of support to layer on those elements to make sure that the storytelling honors, or the visuals honor the storytelling and the words and the strategy, so that all those things come together. So this is how we do it. I use my personal assistant, Amara, which um, she's specifically trained on the back end on all of the processes that we do. One of the things that we needed to do was change the title. Originally, yeah, one of the things that we needed to do was change the title of the lead magnet, or the downloadable resource, I'll call it. The downloadable resource, the hallmark downloadable resource for the training. We need to change the title. So in order to accomplish that, I quite simply just came over to the mock-up of the resource, brought in that element, downloaded that single page from Canva, and now I can just pull it into a mock-up like this. And this is the one that I did. You'll see that it has a stylus on top, just to give it a little more realistic life flair, because I carry my stylus around with my iPad. And then being having everything in a template like this makes it really easy to be able to make those last minute pivots and adjustments when I see things into the builder and I'm like, you know what, that doesn't anchor into the story the way I need it to. So let me just go back in and re-challenge how I formulated the copy. Like, what were the prompts that I used to generate the copy? And then as I give more description on who we're looking to serve, why, what their pain points are, it helps us narrow in using the brand positioning of our ideal client. It helps us narrow in on getting to better messaging for them. So really cool. Like, I'm trying to do a better job of talking through the process of how I create, because it's maybe a little different than how others, maybe not, maybe most people do it the way that I do. I have no idea. But what is really cool is I've built the AI tools and I've invested in the resources that I have to make these things more available to everyone, right? Not just myself, but I have to do a better job of coming in and showing people how I use them so that you can feel empowered and know that you can use them too. So you don't have to be a master at all of the things into the marketing process. You just have to know your people well. And as you know who they are and the things that they speak about, the beauty of the tools from the AI perspective is it can help you solve for a lot of the technical. Um, Still, I will say that AI tools always work best in the hands of people who understand like the processes around them, because there's just little things of how to design a campaign that you'll be able to intuitively pick up on and just course correct the AI in its tracks when it's going down the wrong path, um, or maybe a less optimal path. I shouldn't say the wrong path. I say a less optimal path. Um, so those who have experience are always going to get more out of the AI tool versus others who don't. But the reality is even if you don't have that experience, using the tools will help you start building those muscles and refining that inner ear as well. So I think that there's no downside from giving it, coming in and putting in those reps and giving it a try. So that is the demo of what I've been working on in this particular funnel today. It's almost ready to turn over. I don't think I see too much more that bothers me. I've got some things here on the Apple image. I always go back and forth. It's like copyright. Like, I'll probably pull in an image that has no logo on it, just for legal compliance, but other than that, everything else looks good to go. So let me just go in and make that change. It's a super small one. Um, it's a super small change. There we go. And there we go. It's a little proportioned out. And then take the corners a little more round. And to be clear, these rounded corners mean nothing to no one but me. Just for my own joy, to be clear. Simply for my own joy. It bees like that sometimes. And then finally, that closing panel with an image on those corners as well. Very good. Awesome. I think we missed one. We didn't give her her rounded corners. She's got her edges. Get her edges in order. Mhm. There you go. All right. I feel a lot better. Oh, here's one thing. That button needs to move over a little bit. I just pulled off the screen. I'm getting older, y'all. So I need to pull that over. Best way to figure out how is to see where this is. This is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And this 0. Tell you something else is off. I almost wonder. Sun, orange. Whoops. That solved it. I just moved it back into the same row. Just makes it easier. It's easier to line it up that way. Now the panel is fully balanced. Now let's go take a peek at what it looks like on mobile. Okay, not too shabby. I mean, there's some little things. Yep, I'm willing to let those details ride and say we are ready to publish. That's it. Oh, of course, we should go look at what the new screen looks like. Oh, it's not fully finished. So funny. I just realized I didn't put the coloring in. There's one little detail that I want to do. So that this is very common of how my brain works. So I was looking at the structural layout. There's actually one more layer of design that needs to happen before it's like fully pretty. Pretty, as you call it. Refined's version of pretty. Here we go. So let's look at uh, bringing in, and this is where we're going to go use our Chat GPT trained assistant here. So one of the things that I will do is once I have created the structure of, let's say 80% of what I want the page to be, now I'm going to hit my good friend, snag it. And I'm going to ask Snagit to capture the current draft. And what it does is that it will scroll down and catch the whole landing page. Now, when I go to ask Amara, my custom trained GPT, what I want her to do, like what I'm asking her to create an output for, it's going to be so much simpler for her to do it because she has a visual of what the funnel looks like. So we're going to go in and drag that back into our chat. I just use Command V to paste it in. And then I'm also going to I'm going to help her. Well, actually, I have it in Snagit. Here, let me go find. But too far to be helpful. So I gotta create like a. So let's do. So earlier in our journey, I had my graphic designer build out global guidelines. And this is why an example of when documents like this become super helpful because now what I'll do is pull down this page that has all of our hex codes. Thanks, girly. You're amazing. See, I use the things. I do. We're going to download that page. So now when I put in the direction into my chat window, I am going to ask my trained GPT assistant to help me build background images uh, based on our brand colors. And we love gradients because I just think that they add the color without being too much. Um, and so I tend to gravitate towards a nice, smooth gradient that helps us go from like, I call it complex to simple. It's probably very symbolic of my story and my journey. It's what draws me to wanting the gradients in the first place. They help transition. They help us find our transitions in life much more simply. So while she's thinking it over, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Leonardo AI generator app because that's where we're going to create. And I'm going to think about the model that is going to be best suited for this. I'm like, is it Phoenix? We'll try Lucid. I think Lucid Origin also does a good job. And sometimes it's simpler for me to figure out. I've been doing a lot of like visualization of people lately. If I find a gradient texture that I love, sometimes it's easier for me to figure out which. So Flux does those. Lucid. Phoenix is decent. Phoenix. So I've been playing around with Nano Banana, just as an aside, also very amazing. But I like it for more complex logic based prompts. Here we go. Let's see. Lucid Origin. Okay. Yeah, Lucid Origin. Okay. We're in the right place. So let's see what Amara came back with in terms of her prompts. Okay. So, great example of me not being specific enough. I'm going to challenge her to retry the hero. I just want a background. I don't want people in it. Um, and just as an aside, don't mention names. Uh, So I'm basically telling it I don't want to distract from the copy of the headline, subheadline, or photo or headshot in the section. So let's see what the second chart comes back with. Clean and minimal. Now she's speaking my language. So clean, modern background, website hero, smooth. So what I'm going to do is copy and paste and remove the words manually because I don't want the generator to pick up on the words and think that it's supposed to put it into the image, which can happen. So blending. Ah, before we generate, we got to make sure we're in the right sizing proportion. So we want that wide frame, like that YouTube or um, wide view. So we're going to go ahead and make that change really quick. And then we should be good to go. Ooh, I'm curious what this one would look like. I'm gonna give it a try. I also liked this one. I like this other one, but it's not. I like the others better. And then this is just to see visually how it renders. So much with me is like trial and error because my brain has no ability to imagine what it will look like. Have to set it up and see it and then say, okay, yes or no. This is how I would change the prompt or um, make an adjustment. That's the way my particular gifts work. So I do like the color. I do. So I like the layering of it. But what happens, as you can see, is that it does things with offsetting the rest of what's in the frame. So we can handle this a couple of ways. We could try going with a lighter, um, which may really solve a lot of the problem. I'll have to go do something with that logo in a second. It's manageable. We'll have to do something with that button for sure. Let's see. Believe it or not, if we lift that, if we lift that with a white border, it might work. I know convention would say go with something darker, but if we lift it just enough, and that is too much, here we go. Let's see. Ah, if we lift it just enough, it might be okay. Now I wonder if that's too harsh though. Maybe the softer blue might work. Hmm, softer blue might be better. Two to choose from. Too close? Nope. For the record. So then that leaves us with this logo. Kind of got a spacey feel, which I really can dig it. But before I go too far down this rabbit hole, let me just try the other photo really quick and see um, if I like it differently. It did not. It did not do what I wanted it to do. Hold on. That was totally my fault. I had it on the wrong section. Totally my fault. And by the way, we're not done. No matter what, we have to go upscale the photo to get a better quality, no matter what we do. So that one's just a little more subtle. Yeah, I think I like the other one better. Let's do that. And now let's just go solve for that logo. We need a slightly different version of the logo. Um, Let me go grab that guy, and then I'll go upscale the photo. This version on the white, so not completely all white, but enough with the lighter blue to kind of offset and pick up, like, and balance the corners. I think works well. Okay, so I'm gonna go pick, like, make this image as amazing as it can become in our good friend Leonardo. So we liked both. I'll probably upscale both for future reference. It's kind of got that planetary, like, space astronomy feel. I love it. So you can upscale twice. There you go. I'm going to bring in those new upscaled images. We can see what they look like. Oh, oops. It's probably not what I was supposed to do. Get mad at me later. Ooh, you can see, like, that line right here. That's nice. You can see that detail more. Nice. Okay. Now, beautiful. So pretty. Oh, love it. So now let's go and grab the prompt for the offsetting gradients. So now that we have our winner, I'm gonna say this is the winner. Update the prompt to generate gradients. Let's try this one. Now, I'm not one where I feel like every panel has to have color. I like to give it white space, but I will see how these colors are coming through. Oh, those are pretty. Let's try this one. Although I'm trying to like see it on the screen, right? Like those two. Yeah, this one and that one should complement each other pretty well. So let's see. White. Uh, so that's what I was worried about. It's too green, whereas the other is more of a blue. But let's see if we did something like, no, not even. So no for that one. Aqua. Let's try this one. I don't know. Yeah, I know. It doesn't work. So I like to use Amara to generate the prompts, and have Leonardo. Like they tag team really, really well. But without those descriptors, which is like not my strength, Leonardo can't come to the output. So We use Amara to come up with the words that Leonardo needs to be able to process the visual layers, which with it, Leonardo is amazing. So I don't know that I see teal or aqua, but let me just try this one more time because those were the words that Leonardo got to generate the image, which is really interesting. The second pass, it came around with something way too green, far less blue. So I'm going to take this out, try the prompts, and then if it doesn't work, I'll challenge it. Or, oh, actually, I have another idea. Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. This might work. Let's try this one. Like, make it lighter. Oh, that's perfect. Yes. See how those are going to come way closer to that. And I was going to say, come here and say, create a similar but simpler pattern complementary color. That did not work. Because complementary in the world of design means a very specific thing. And this is what I mean. I am not that person. I'm not a designer. I'm not going to be able to tell you like what all of the technical terms on design mean. But visually, I can describe the output we're looking to get. And that's what AI is amazing at doing. It helps you translate. So I am going to uh, go on my merry way with my lighter guys here and see if we can get that to line up a little better. I think one of these guys is going to be it. And then what I'll say is, Now I think we're good. Publish these changes. Okay, I'm good with it.